Hello there, Dick Benedict. We're playing Marlow Briggs and the Mask of Death on hardcore difficulty. I need to swallow a narcotic really quickly. If you don't mind, do you? Because I certainly don't mind. Shit tastes just about as good as that shit cologne smells. It really does. Fuck. Hits the spot. I have a couple of things to say. Remember in the last video when I said that this guy has a turbo stab? Well, it's not that the enemy has it exactly. What's happening is the game is breaking down. And this guy is getting sped up. Erroneously sped up. Now, it happened here, and it also happened on the hardest fight coming up. And when I say hardest fight, man, I mean holy fuck, holy fucking hell. Because sometimes when the game, it has to be when the game stays on too long and you're making too many demands of it, it just falls apart, it breaks down. But look at this room. You've got like four uses of the magic here. You've got like 4 refills of magic. And then on the hardest fight that's coming up, they only give you, they give you 2 and 2. I think it's pretty balanced. But the way this guy is stabbing that quickly, the game's broken. It's not supposed to be like that. You may see it on the Titans that it's coming up, and if you don't, it's only because I reset the game many times. Like I had so many issues, just so many issues of the game falling apart and breaking down, and I don't expect that. Even after I spend 7 hours on a section and still don't beat it, I expect the game to be the same as it was at the beginning of my would-be suffering, because a game should never break apart. I would want to break apart before the game breaks apart. And secondly, remember when I pussified this game by saying that it's like a 4 or like a 2 or 3, whatever I said it was, out of 10 for the difficulty? Well, the part that we're going to do now is easily a 10 out of 10 for difficulty, and overall, whatever that averages out to be, it's just going to make for like a much higher average score for this game. So it's going to bring the average probably up to like 7. And I knew it. Dick fucking Benedict, he knew it. I wasn't oblivious to this because I suffered on this part on hard. But I didn't spend 7 hours on this part trying to do it. That's how long it took me to do this fucking part last night. And so I can't say that it came out of nowhere, because it really didn't. I was aware of it. I was aware of this fight with the 3 Titans and the princesses. This, by the way, is a skippable fight. So you want to make sure that you bring as much health to the next fight as you humanly can. And at this point, I've got all my weapons maxed out, but I don't have the hurricane magic beyond level 1. And I was thinking to myself, if there was just a chapter select mode, I can maybe start over from a previous chapter and not make the upgrades to the certain other ones that I don't like, and rather make upgrades to the hurricane, because I have a feeling, since it's the last one they give you, that it's the most powerful, same as the weapon that we're using now is the last one they give us, and it's the most powerful. I could be completely wrong about that. That's just my gut feeling. So I did not have enough to upgrade the hurricane to level 2. If I had to do it differently, I would just not upgrade the ice, either the ice or the second magic that you get that does those spikes on the ground of fire. I would not upgrade that one. I'm not talking about like the meteor blast of the fire, because that's a good one. So I would have dispensed with that, and then saved up all my my experience orbs to upgrade the hurricane to level 3, just to see. And even if it didn't do that much, you see, I just don't think it wouldn't do much. I think I would have suffered a little bit less. But the thing is, like, the pervasive note over all of this guys, is that the magic sucks. It truly does. Like, you can use 3 uses of the magic on the princesses that are going to be coming up, and they're still around, jumping around, throwing projectiles, doing their jumping jacks, and shitting around like they normally do. I mean, you can do 10 uses of the magic on the titans that are coming up. Here's the place of suffering up here. And if you want, there is a very good spot to stand. It's going to take you a long time, but you can stand outside of the arena and do some sort of boundary abuse, even though since they don't close off the main arena where you fight, I'm loath to call it boundary abuse, because you're still in the boundaries that the game allows you to be in realistically. And you're also going to see that my orb count changes from like 10,000 plus over here to like 7,000 plus, because when I reloaded a checkpoint one time, it sent me back really far back. Sometimes it sends me back like 3 videos back. Sometimes it sends me back like 3 checkpoints back. It's laughable. And there's also things on the ground here that you can clip against, but you can destroy them if you want to take the time to do it. So I am going to start birding these guys as much as possible. Now, getting interrupted while you're going for the HP and the MP is one of the most frustrating things over here. But what's happening here is we've got 2 titans and 2 of these princesses. They throw 2 projectiles at you, and it's not easy to parry these projectiles either. And I think you can just guard against them. But if you fail to send them back, you get dealt a significant amount of damage. So what you want to do here is use the magic. Just go for it. Use it all 3 times. Just go ahead and use it all 3 times. You're going to be getting a little bit of it back. And if you can get one of these guys, at least one of these guys. See, the key to this whole thing is doing the mind manipulation on these guys so that they attack the titans, and so that the titans aren't focused on you. Now, it gets easier when you've mind manipulated one, because since all 3 of those guys are pretty much indisposed, then you can go work on this guy and freely smash him, get the B button prompt, and not get interrupted, because you can easily get interrupted while you're doing that. Although at the end you do get iframes. So this is the perfect situation, what we've got here. But it doesn't always work, because these princesses, the smaller enemies, can get stampeded by the titans. You can inadvertently kill the princesses, and like, as long as you see, the thing about this is that if you've got 2 of the princesses mind manipulated, that means that this will go on a little bit longer, and you'll have much longer to work on these 2 titans. The quicker that the princesses get killed off by the titans, the faster that you'll have new princess spawners coming in, because as long as you've got titans on the map, you're always going to have princesses. It's an infinite spawn of the princesses. This is a really difficult fight, because it's a pair of really difficult enemies to deal with simultaneously. So we've got the B button prompt over one of them. You want to do distributive damage as much as possible, so that when you jump on this titan, you don't have to hit this guy too many times to put him to the B button prompt. Ideally, what you want to do, best case scenario would be to get the B button prompt at the same time, so that you can jump on one, execute, jump off, jump on the other, execute, jump off. But that rarely works. That only happened to me one time. So failing that, what you can do is do what we just did. Get the B button prompt over one, mount him, climb aboard him, and then just wail on the other guy until you get the B button prompt. Now, the more you've done distributive damage to both, like the more you've weakened the one that you don't initially jump on, the better chance you'll have of killing the second Titan before he kills the princess, and then you've got new princess spawners. So health here is a huge issue. It's a huge fucking issue. So here we go. We're going to jump on him. Now there's something here that's broken, and I'm going to talk about it right now, because the reason I jump off is because if you stay on these things too long, it's as though they remember all of the damage that you've been receiving from the enemies on the ground. Because when you jump off, I've jumped off with half or like 3/4 of my health bar intact, only to fall to my ground and get slaughtered. Like, just because the game is putting to account all the damage I've accrued, or when I'm falling, I'm just getting mauled by everything. I can't really decide what it is. I think it's the former, though. I think I'm getting fucked in the ass royally by this shit. So what you want to do now is take the princess to the B button prompt, grab her, subdue her. See, the problem is you normally won't get just one of these princesses like this. But we're at such a state here. This is not broken. What happens sometimes is that we're in a little phase here where one princess is out here, and then the second princess will come, but she's on a timer, and she's quite behind, so that we have plenty of time here to work on this Titan while we have this princess. If we don't go fast enough, though, what's going to happen is another princess is going to jump down into this arena. Like, this fight is the Loom Chamber from God of War 2. It is, insert any really difficult fight from any hard game that you've ever done, and this is it. Like, in this form, in this game. This is, there's hardly anything like it, guys. I was so fucking pissed. Like... But I think it's a fair fight. I still do think it's a fair fight, but it just came out of nowhere because the game is lobotomy easy everywhere else. Yeah, see, here comes the second one on that timer that I mentioned. So fortunately, the third Titan's dead. Here she comes, but we've got to be very careful not to screw up here, because she can combo our asses, and So if you want to be really careful, I wouldn't even try to counterattack her projectiles. What I would do is I would just dodge the projectiles, because, like I said, they are not easy to parry. They might be easy for you to parry, but personally, I don't find them easy to parry. But I'm going to be using this. I'm getting a little bold here. It does pretty good damage as well. And then, damn. 7 hours later, guys. 7 hours later. But I don't regret any of it, because this game needed something difficult. But I think it needed a lot of other things difficult in a lot of other places, because, like I said, it's lobotomy easy almost, actually not almost, everywhere else, including the final boss. The final boss is pretty simple. To have one part stand out like that, it just makes it demonstrable in a bad way. So that just but it didn't surprise me. Like, I knew there was something like that. I didn't know exactly what it was, but I knew there was something like later in the game like that I remember on my hard difficulty playthrough and having issues on it. But fly on down here, and we are eventually going to fight a beast down here, but first we're going to be turning 2 cranks and pulling 2 levers. So I'm going to pull this lever now, and my health is very, very low, so I'm going to try to smash some bugs. But what's going to happen is when I try to go for the red health, I get interrupted. So what you can actually do is you can climb to the right side, and there's some health up there, and you actually do get a checkpoint up there. And then what's going to happen a little bit later, so there's the crank, go ahead and pull that. So here's the checkpoint. And when you come down here now, what you're going to have is probably more of those little tiny bugs, and then another scorpion, a black one, I do believe. And then that should be a wrap. After that, what's going to happen is we're going to be going to the other side, scaling the vines and pulling another lever, and then jumping down and then fighting that boss is pretty simple. Pretty simple. But I looked on YouTube because I was curious, just like I looked on YouTube for a Conan guide on King difficulty. Has anyone done this game on hardcore? I was kind of curious. No, nobody has. Nobody has. So once again, I will be a pioneer in doing this. So this is the normal speed of his tail slash, guys. His tail stab. Remember at the beginning of the video how he was going berserk in turbo mode? See, what also was happening is, you know the Titans that we were fighting a few minutes ago with those princesses? They were going apeshit too. Like, they were running at the speed of light around the arena. And how can I possibly compete with that and react to that? I couldn't. I would have to exit the game every time that happened. And it happened very frequently. So the game just completely broke down. Anyway, so now that that thing's dead, we're going to go over here and pull this lever. And this dog is pretty simple. He's called the Hellhound. One of the things, too, the reason I turned the dialogue off is because every time you die, the game, the mask teases you and says something defamatory and irritating, like, "Oh, didn't you know that there was a pit there? You didn't see it." Like, they say really obnoxious things that personally I don't want to fucking hear. I don't want to hear that shit. And also, what happens too is if you're standing in one place for a long time, the game will say, "Oh, why aren't you moving? We need to get moving. You're going too slow." I do not want to hear that, you know? If I'm sitting in my lounge chair across the room and having to hear that shit constantly, I don't want to have to get up and mute the game. Just don't say it in the fucking first place, or I'll have to turn the dialogue off, you sons of whores. But I digress. Here's the Hell Beast. I don't know if you can block anything. I was trying to get out of here too quickly to see if I could block. I'm going to be using the tusk and basically just using my wings to kind of circle around him and to the side and to the rear of him. When he gets down to low life, or like, I'm not sure, not necessarily low life, but kind of like less than half life, he'll start doing a flamethrower attack, which you need to jump over. But the thing is, if it starts like right where you're at, you can actually get burned up. And I'm not sure which magic this guy is weak to. I tried several ones, and I eventually just decided to not use the magic. I still do not have enough to purchase level 2 for the Hurricane. And there might be a way to use the magic twice if you upgrade all the magic, but I still don't think so. I still recall upgrading all the magics in my first playthrough and not being able to use the magic twice. But maybe I was wrong. You know, I can't remember everything. But he's got that icicle charge that he does there, and he takes quite a long time to retract his icicles. Yeah, getting burned a little bit. He takes time to retract those, so kind of just stop next to him, do a 4-hit combo. A single target 4-hit a single target heavy damage combo that you can do is YXXY, but it kind of takes a long time for that move to come out, so I don't use it too much. But it's a heavy damage dealing combo. You guys, 7 hours. Take care. Holy shit.